Welcome to Transforming the Toddler Years, a Core 4 parenting podcast for conscious, cycle-breaking parents ready to turn toddler tantrums into teachable moments. Hi, I'm Cara Tyrrell, a lifetime lover of littles, mom to 2 grown and flown girls, and an early childhood educator. Through the show, I teach you my collaborative parenting methodology for nurturing your little human's mind, body, and spirit. Because how you connect and collaborate in the first 5 years is how you raise happy, healthy kids who grow into the best version of themselves and find true success in school and life. Welcome back, Toddler Tribe. Today we're talking about peer pressure. The truth about peer pressure. So today's episode is going to be a journey. I'm going to bring you back to bring you forward. We're going to look at your experiences and then your toddler's experiences through their eyes. So let's start with you. Peer pressure. There are 2 little words, but you know the power of words. When I say them, how do you feel? What changes in your physiology? Do you tense? Do you tighten up a little bit? Do you cringe? Does it make you think about inherently a negative situation in which you were influenced by others and made a choice you wish you hadn't because the natural consequences weren't so fun? I get it. That is how the world interprets those 2 little powerful words, peer pressure. But like everything in the world, there's a yin and a yang. There's a light and a dark side. And that is equally true with peer pressure. So let's talk about the power of positive peer pressure as well. Throughout humanity, society is the space where we choose to interact with other people, and they have influence on us. Some of them influence positively, and some of them influence us negatively. I talk all the time with my husband about that because we do a lot of personal development work together. If you're joining me on the show for relatively first time, for about the last 15 years, we have tried to consume the same books and listen to the same shows and then process them together. And there is a running theme that we hear constantly. You are the product of the 5 people that you spend the most time around. And we hear it over and over and over. Have you heard that before? You are the product of the 5 people you spend the most time around. What does this mean? It means that your sphere, your little circle of people that you either have in your life because they're coworkers, or you choose them in your life because they are friends or family, or church members, your congregation, right? That's a community. They influence you. One of the things I've really been thinking about with that sentence, you are a combination of, is that are. That's a very abstract verb. I want you to think about it more like you talk like a combination of the 5 people you're around most. You act like them. You think like them. You react or respond like them. You behave like them. You absorb their behaviors and their energy. I remember in college, this is such a fun memory for me. I was voice acting. And as a voice actor, it's my job to reflect what's happening on stage for the person who happened to be deaf on stage. So they're signing and I'm voice acting. So it was my job to take on that persona and use a voice that matched this character from the deep South. I couldn't do it for you today. Like right now on mic, if I tried, there's no way I could do it. But I practiced and practiced and practiced for months leading up to the show, and then nailed it for the whole run of the show. And then what happened? I'm sure you know what I'm going to say. I couldn't stop talking in that accent. I had surrounded myself with it, by it, produced it, thought that way, talked that way for so long. It had become part of me for a short period of time. This is exactly what happens with your toddler. And you want to surround them with other small people who have really positive, bubbly energy, right? You want to surround them with kids who approach socially in a pro-social kind way. Your goal is to create a nurture environment for them such that these kids can all bounce off each other and absorb each other's energy, words, thoughts, behaviors, and use them in a positive peer pressure kind of way. Because we all have hard days, right? Of course we do. So if your kiddo is just off, maybe they're hungry, they're tired, maybe they're about like on that cusp of getting sick, and so they're kind of crabby, but the other kids at their childcare, the other kids at their twos program are all kids who really exude all those characteristics and qualities I was just talking about. Well, then they're going to pull your kiddo up for the day. Now, I know this is a huge challenge because you don't get to curate who is in your child's centers, in their daycares, in their preschools. But you do get to curate who your child spends time with outside of that space. The same is true for you. I recently saw this really cool visual that was going around on the interwebs about a rotten strawberry. And there were 4 other strawberries next to it that were totally fresh and beautiful and red and gorgeous. And they took a toothpick and they attached the rotten strawberry to all the other ones. Maybe it was more of a skewer, right? Because that's a lot. And they did a time lapse over the next few days. And within a week, every single other strawberry had gone rotten, had gotten fuzzy, had absorbed the energy of that rotten strawberry. And it changed its physiology. So this is really important stuff. So the same is true for you. You've set a goal. You identify as a conscious parent. You identify as wanting to be respectful and kind and intentional when raising your children. You know that you want to get down on their level. You want to look them in the eye. You want to have a calm voice when you're talking. You want to include them in the problem solving, the collaborative parenting methodology that I have, right? You want all those things. So when you go out and create a play space for your child on purpose, do you invite kids whose parents want that too? Think about it. Do you invite people who share the same values, the same goals that you do, who are choosing to parent differently than they were parented? It's important. It's really important because you have hard parenting days, just like your child has hard kid days. And if you're surrounded by other parents who embody who you want to be as a parent, they lift you up on those days. They model it for you. And you sound like them, and you look like them, and you hold them as your beacon, as your guidepost. So my point here is that very often as parents, when we choose experiences for our kids outside of a child care center or a school, we're also trying to choose experiences for us. Recently, I sent out a newsletter, and it said that the number one thing I wish I had done when my kids were little was not forget about me. I know. Is this hitting home for you? To maintain what I need in order to be my best self too. To ask for it, to seek it, to find it. To embrace that parenting personal development journey that we all launch ourselves on when we bring a little one home from the hospital. But to also remember that my wellness matters. That if I push myself too far just for them, I actually am not giving them all of me. So, takeaways from today. Remember that the nurture environment that you choose affects you and your children, that you embody the people that you choose to be around, and that you have a choice. In my program, Transforming the Toddler Years, our 6-module course, at the very beginning, I have you design a personalized parenting mission statement where you set that North Star. You choose that goal. You embrace that identity of who you want to be as a parent. And more than that, you really nail down the qualities and characteristics of the person that you want to raise. It's a roadmap. And along those roads, you're going to see exits, and you're going to see pull-offs, and you're going to see places that are easy to just take a break. And sometimes we need that. But we've always got to pull back onto the road. We always have to choose to move forward towards our goal. And to do that, we need other people around us that share that vision. This is why my favorite part of when you complete the course, because it is self-paced and it's online and you can do it yourself, is that while you're doing that, we invite you into our graduate program, right? It's kind of cool. It's like this all-access pass to a thing that you haven't actually graduated yet. And we're like, come on in. See what it's like to hang out with other people who think this way, act this way, talk this way, and engage this way with kids. Pretty great. So if you're ready to take some action, the course is ready for you. I am beyond excited. I used to teach it live, and I love the live teaching, and I might bring that back someday, but the world isn't designed for that right now, and you're in it, and you're looking for transformation. And so I'm thrilled to say that if you just click the link in the show notes, it will take you directly to a page that talks all about the course, and you could get started today. All right, my toddler tribe. I look forward to hearing from you, seeing if this is a journey that you're ready to take. And until then, you know what to do. Stay mindful and proactive as we transform the toddler years.